Friends, good evening. I hope everyone is well. I really do mean that. Let's talk stocks. What's going on? We're seeing a great surge right now in the stock market. This is quite unbelievable. And I think last week, if I had really pushed the topic of like, hey, just want to let you know, I've looked into the future and next Wednesday, the stock market's going to be at, almost all-time highs again. Most people would have, just told me to get lost. But this is where we're at. So, a lot of the bigger stocks are coming back here. Obviously, the S&P 500 is back up at this 68 zone, trying to get back up into, push to the 7,000 point range, what we've been talking about here. And it seems like it's very achievable at this point. More than likely, it's coming down the pipeline, especially if this rate cut does happen here at the beginning of December. So the news came out today with what the Fed's the last little bit we had report-wise with some inflation stuff, what's going on. And, the market reacted like, whatever. It wasn't bad, wasn't great, was just in the middle, good enough. Here we go. And this is kind of what we expected. But right now we're in this point in the market where it is interesting if we're going to start to get a lot of our small cap stocks back. Are we going to get our big bears back? Are we going to get our rich techs back? Are we going to get, SoundHound here, or I want to talk about? Are we going to get a lot more of the market pushing, the smaller stocks that we were seeing a lot in August, September, even the beginning of October be pushed heavily? And I think it is. I think we're seeing signs of that already. But and this is what's so fun about, a lot of these stocks right now, the ones that I've been harping on about, because there's high chance that they could start to really run up again here. But obviously the market's doing great. This is quite unbelievable. It's just like, wow, this is crazy. So today, the market, this is it. The market is closed tomorrow, Thanksgiving. It will open back up on Friday, and it will close at 1 o'clock on Friday. So this is a short week regardless. I know it's going to be hard on all of us. I understand. But let's get into it. I want to talk about SoundHound. I want to talk about Big Bear. I am never going. I saw somebody's like, "Why do you talk about Big Bear every day?" I always get two comments. Somebody's like, "Why do you talk about Big Bear every day? Why?" Or when I don't talk about Big Bear every day, then it's like, "Why aren't you talking about Big Bear?" Or like, "Thank you for talking about Big Bear every day." I am very optimistic that Big Bear is going to have a very bright future. I am in strong belief that Big Bear will get more government contracts. I am in strong belief that they will get more airline deals, and just deals in general. We could really see them start to spread out into bigger and better deals next year, going in 2026. I am not expecting Big Bear to be this $100 million company, per quarterly next year. That's not what we're saying here. Simply, I'm just saying, I think there's a lot of evidence showing that we're starting to see the makings of a new company be built out before us. They have new leadership. They are obviously pushing in bigger and better deals. And, listen, when you're wanting to get into a young, youthful company, not that Big Bear's new by any means, but there are plenty of companies throughout history that have just been in the market, have been publicly traded companies that have, been around for a long time, but they've just been ran by terrible leadership. They've never pushed for more. They've never done more. And then they get a new CEO. They get some new top line, bottom line. Things start to change. They start to get some bigger, better deals. It expands from that. And these things take time. That's why it's called investing. Investing takes a long time. It's a hard thing for a lot of people. It really is. And for people that are doing swing trades, day trades, option trades, I get that. That's a lot more, pinpoint to the action, wham, bam, on a 24, 48 hour point. But, Big Bear here, if you're in here for the long term, I think probably the juice is worth the squeeze here from what we could see. So we're going to talk about a lot of that. And right now, let's just go right into SoundHound, because SoundHound is a stock that I've been buying. I started buying in at $2, and I think there's still, a lot of argument here to say that SoundHound's going to have another great year. And I'm really shocked at how many people are really still very big bullish on SoundHound. It really is remarkable. So SoundHound has had a fantastic year. There's no doubt about that. And with this conversation too, the last two quarterlies here with SoundHound have been remarkable. They've just been remarkable. Now SoundHound for Q2, Q3 here have been in this range of 42 and some change here, 42 million and some change with quarterlies. Now that is remarkable because when we're talking about last year with SoundHound and their quarterlies at this time, they were under $20 million. So this is double essentially in revenue here. This is a fantastic place. It's essentially almost more than double, but this is amazing. So, this is why SoundHound here earlier, a lot this year, not more than once, was trading at $15, $18, $25 almost at one point because there's a lot of speculation around it. Now, obviously, with the market collapse here, this little tumble down the hill that we just went through, and now we've seen it climb back up, SoundHound is getting back up on its feet here, and it's moving forward here. So there is I think strong evidence that we've seen so far that SoundHound, when we get the market back fully, and two, obviously the market's starting to come back now, but we still haven't captured the market we had like in August, September, or even just the little bit of October that we had good in the market, where, we were just seeing a lot of our smaller cap stocks here, really, low cap stocks do, remarkable numbers here. So like SoundHound, like Big Bear, a lot of those. But this is a stock that I am very curious to see what is going to continue to happen with this company. What I had with SoundHound going into this year, like I literally said this, I was like, man, if SoundHound can just continue to pull out, get to a range of, this $36 million range where it can at least just, keep doing that time and time again, we're going to see this company do really well. Well, they've really just completely blown past that. But we've seen SoundHound this year break off into different markets. Obviously, the automobile market, the restaurant, fast food chains, some other random little, companies that they're pushing into, but also getting into a European market too, what we saw this year happen. So the stock price, I don't think there should be anyone going like, man, I think, if someone's telling you that SoundHound's going to keep sinking here, I don't think that is potentially what we're looking at here. More than not, what I look at with SoundHound here, I go like, if it goes to 10, I would be very shocked. But even at 10, I would be a buyer because of what this stock has been. It's been a very healthy stock this year. That's the thing. Not only that, the company is pushing into a really, really big revenue. I mean, just a moment ago, this stock was trading at $21. So, if we didn't have this collapse here, what we just went through, there's no doubt in my mind that SoundHound would not still be a anywhere from $18 to $23 stock. I mean, there's just obviously, mathematically that's still a very high point in price with SoundHound, but there's a lot of speculation, expectation with SoundHound where it can go from here. I mean, this has been such a dark horse. I've said that time and time again for the past 2 years, but this company, this stock has been just really, really, it continues to push. And why I'm separating the stock and the company, because obviously the company is really pushing into aggressive deals. They are really getting out there, and their name is getting really, really more attractive to bigger investors. I'm seeing more people talk about SoundHound on TikTok. I'm seeing more, like I see a thumbnail come across on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, that's my SoundHound. Like, it's weird when like I find a company that starts to get popular. It's like I'm glad about it, and obviously I have a YouTube channel where I yap my gums about stuff, but it's really weird when you see other people like grab a hold of a stock you've been in and then they start talking about it. It's like, oh, that's interesting. I mean, I'm glad, but I do think that there's a strong argument that we're going to see this share price do really well here going into next year. Now, obviously, SoundHound what is so special too about this is that this is not in the conversation of this is recycled money in the AI spectrum. There's a lot of that conversation going on right now with a lot of these AI companies. People like to bring that up with, Palantir from the, just even the Mag 7. SoundHound is essentially working with a lot of different individual companies in, different businesses. I mean, like I said, from restaurants to automakers, automobile makers, just a lot of different ones here. They're not shy about it. You can look it up. They've got a lot of different pokers in the fires. This is definitely in top 5 going into 2026 that you need to watch here, 100%. Depending on how strong we get our market. Listen, this is the thing here. If we get this is what the bears don't want to hear right now. You have to understand how many people were betting against the market here the past 3 weeks. This is why I've been buying. I've been so positive on the market here the past 3 weeks, and it hasn't been popular, but God knows it's what we're seeing now. If we get this rate cut here in December, the market's going to continue to do good. Obviously, there will be pushbacks, but right now, the Mag 7, a lot of our general AI stocks out there, the banks, they just released great quarterlies. This is why this conversation of, there's going to be this AI bubble it's popped or it's going to pop. What are you talking about? We're not even seeing signs of that happening. And not to mention, what do you think Amazon, Apple, a lot of these other big, just companies in general, just even in the Mag, just talking about the Mag 7, Meta, NVIDIA, they're going to release even bigger quarterlies here for Q4 because of Christmas sales, because of ad revenue going up and being so thick into the holidays. NVIDIA's already said, like, hey, these next quarterlies, they're going to be huge. They're going to be almost 70 billion. This is why this AI bubble pop conversation does not work right now for me. It doesn't work for a lot of people. I choose not to believe it because I'm not seeing it. When I start to see it, sure, I'll admit to it. But I just right now, I do think that there will be some kind of, there's always, through history, we've had pullbacks in the market where the market just cools down. Undoubtedly, we will get that time. But right now, this is not it. This is just not it. Be excited about what's coming next year. What do you remember? Think about this. For anybody that's struggling, because this is a lot of the thought process right now with a lot of investors. What is coming in 2026? This time last year, a lot of the conversation was we knew who won the election, and the whole thought process was that, like, oh my God, the market's going to collapse. Oh my God, this is, take out your money now. Take out your money. This is it. This is economical collapse. Okay. We still all have that friend who's like, when the market crashes, I'll get in. We all have that friend. But right now, why is there not a conversation that's popular where we go, it might be a good year in 2026. We might just have another good year. Now, I don't know that 2026 will be as aggressive as what we just went through here this year. This was a rocking year in the stock market. I don't think there's anyone that's going to make it out of 2026 with saying they didn't do well with one or two positions. You may be bag holding some things from the collapse we just went through, but all in all, most people are going to come out of this year going like, I had a pretty good year. Why are we not saying that 2026 cannot be another good year as from what we could see right now? Obviously, a lot depends on this rate cut. But two, regardless, we're going to get more rate cuts in 2026. They're coming regardless. So really think about, setting yourself up now. Some things are still pretty cheap. BigBear, SoundHound, for what could be coming here. I'm not saying that these are going to be like altering, changing portfolio stocks, this year, but they will continue to do well. I know a lot of you have already done well with them with swing trades or buying in cheaper range here. So yeah, I'm excited about SoundHound. Be excited about SoundHound. There's a lot happening here. We just don't know how much bigger and how much broader this AI conversation is going to get, this could get a lot crazier. It could. I have never done well in the market when I listen to negative people. I really haven't. And I get there's people that don't want to listen to me because I'm just not going to be negative. I totally get that. But it will not serve you well. There's a time I get to be cautious, obviously, and you want to be cautious. You want to go into a new year investing in good companies, solid companies, companies that are at least showing signs of moving in the right direction. SoundHound's very much in that range right now, more so even than Big Bear. Honestly, I mean, that's God's honest truth. As much as I love Big Bear, it really is the truth. But we could have another good year. It may not be as crazy, but it could just be a good year. Talking about Big Bear, what can I say that I haven't said here? I think people need to really hone in on Big Bear and say that this could be something very special getting into next year. I really do believe that. I am very optimistic that Big Bear, like I said in the beginning here, is going to continue to push up on stock share price. So really, friends, I've talked about the memo, what Kevin said. We've had good hold here on Big Bear. Think about what we just went through with this market collapse here. And it was such a defining moment here with a lot of stocks, especially these lower stocks that are, struggling to hold positions here. I mean, I talk about Rich Tech. Rich Tech got ripped apart during this market collapse. It really did. Now it's coming back here a little bit. We're hopeful to get it back into a $4 or $5 range here, but it's still going to take some time. And, a lot of that depends on the overall market, what we can, keep here. But Big Bear has been holding this position at a high $5 range, even, $5.40 at the lowest we've seen here. So, I think this is strong signs that we're seeing. That's what we're seeing here. We're seeing strong signs that Big Bear has built up a very strong foundation with investors. That's really good. There was a time this year where a lot of people, we were hopeful for $6. We were hopeful for $5. There was a moment here where we were buying Big Bear at $1.50, $2, where we were, just sitting at $3 to $4 for, it seemed like an eternity. I am very optimistic that Big Bear is going to get more deals this year. I really am. I really do believe that we have been left breadcrumbs by Kevin saying that, hey, there's something coming here. I can't give more than what I've given you already, detail-wise, but there's something coming here. There are no other reasons why Kevin said what he said in the memo lines with this last quarterly about border security, more government contracts, and deals in general. And they just spent $250 million. Big Bear themselves spent $250 million on better software. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for a company that has been struggling to keep above these $30 million quarterlies. And I don't say that lightly, and I don't say it to be mean, but that's the God's honest truth. They are trying. There's a lot of companies out there that are just bringing in a little bit of money they can and not reallocating money back into their company. Big Bear is fighting. They are trying to do more out here. So the stock share price right now, sitting around this $5, $6, I look at this and I go, this is fine with me, because right now I'm still a buyer. I'm a buyer at these prices, because next year, if Big Bear can double the business model of what it's done this year, we've won. We won. That's year one. We'll finally be in. We're still watching a very strong foundation, I feel like, being built here with this company. We just watched Kevin come in here, 100% redirect the company. It's obvious where we're going right now. There's two sets of strong deals that are coming in. Government deals and these airline deals. Now, that may be cause for concern with some people. I get that. There's plenty of articles directing towards that. But right now, I mean, we could just have one, I would say this, and this may be the most negative thing I say about Big Bear, but, if Big Bear was just getting these airline deals, Big Bear probably would not have had such a successful year. It just would. It wouldn't it wouldn't have got as near as much attention if they were just getting these airline deals. It would have just been this company, AI company, similar to, Palantir, however they like to, make those connections. And that probably would have been it. It probably would have been like a $2-3 stock at this point. But it is the government connection that keeps such a close eye with investors with this stock. And that's totally fine. It's totally understandable. And if this is the beginning stage of where we're going to start here going in 2026, man, I'm very curious to see starting into 2026 here. Are we going to start the new year here with Big Bear at a $6 range? We didn't have that last year. We didn't. We were at $3-4. Now we're going to start this year, maybe more. Who knows? I think this is great. I think this is absolutely great, friends. I want to wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving. The market will be closed, but it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this. I wish all of you best of luck cooking, helping the family, whatever you're doing. Friends, I will be back talking to you soon. Stay strong. We're going to take this market. We're going to get these smaller stocks back up and running, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.